Hi, welcome to Bonita's Kitchen and thank you for joining us. Today I'm going to be making Bonita's white puddings. Growing up here in Newfoundland and Labrador, white puddings was a big deal here. Years ago our elders would have it pretty much every other day. So just recently I've had many requests for how to make it, how to make white puddings. If you got any tips, ideas. So over this past little while I've compiled some information from our elders, from friends, family, and of course from the knowledge of what we know about about white puddings. Of course, here in our local area we can get white puddings anytime we want to because they sell them at grocery stores and at the markets. But of course, for those of us Newfoundlanders and Labradorians, and of course people of interest, is looking for these white puddings that can have access to it, that like to know how to make it themselves. Well, today, this is exciting. I have got a beautiful recipe that you could make at home, and it's not a lot of work. You don't have to have the tubes to put your white puddings into. You don't have to have all these fancy grinders, and it's just a small amount, which is only 3 white puddings. But what I'll do, I'll tell you more about it as we go. So let's get started and showing you the ingredients. So what we got here, we got the main ingredient, which is beef fat trimmings, and of course a small amount of beef on there, and it's about 2 cups. What we're also going to be using is some stale bread. We'll grate that down really fine, and that'll be about 1 cup. 1 cup of roll oats, and any cut, because you've got to grind it down anyway to make it small. We got a teaspoonful of black pepper, a teaspoonful of white pepper, 2 teaspoonfuls of sea salt, a teaspoonful of onion powder, a teaspoonful of savoury. Now if you don't have access to savoury, you could use thyme. Also we got a small onion, and we're going to be grating that as well. So let's get started. So of course what else we're going to need to make these delicious white puddings is a blender, a ice blade blender, or a KitchenAid. I just got a small, like $50 KitchenAid here, just enough to grind things. You're going to need a boiler half full of water. You're going to need a roaster or something with a lid that you can go in the oven, because I'm going to give you 2 methods here today of how you could get these ready, prepare them before you start frying them. And then you're also going to need some cheesecloth and a cotton bag, or a couple of cotton bags, and I'm going to show you what that looks like as well. You're going to need some cheesecloth like this, and it's layered. There's probably 3 or 4 layers there, because we need these for 3 different sausages, 3 different white puddings, I'm going to say. This is a cotton bag we use here in Newfoundland and Labrador for our puddings and our peas pudding, and you'll need some thread. So again, I'll share that information with you. Right now I just got this small KitchenAid that I'm going to be first grinding up my breadcrumbs and grinding up my oats. So all I'm going to do now, normally I would grate this up with my hands, and that's fine, but because I got the KitchenAid there that I'm going to be using for pretty much the whole gadget, I'll just pulse this and get this in small little pieces. Alright, so that's pretty much all I need to do there. So what I'm going to do now is take this out and pour it into this bowl. So pretty much we're going to be doing this in stages, and each time again is about a cup of this. I'll take some more of these off because that's more than a cup, but it doesn't matter if you got a little bit more. But let's go right to the what you need, and that way you won't be confused. And then we'll put the cup of oats in here to grind this up nice and fine. So I'll just put the cup of breadcrumbs and grind this. Okay, Okay, so there's not too much to this part, but believe me, I'm after trying a few different ways with it just in full pieces, and you really need to have that proper texture, and this is what does it. So if you can get this, even I think a coffee grinder might grind this up good as well. Next, what we're going to grind up in there is our onion, because we need that little bit of moisture as well. Alright, so that's all we need to do with that. So I wanted to get the dry ingredients first, and we're working our way along because as well we got to get that, I guess your fat, the suet, all grind up, and it's got little bits of beef on there as well, and that you need as well because it gives you that little bit of extra texture. So I'm going to have to do this one in 2 different stages because it's too much for my food processor. So grind it up small, and I'm going to show you now what that looks like as well. Okay, so really what we're doing is just giving this all its fair texture, and you can see it's just blended up really good. I'm just going to toss this out. I'll get the last little bit there of, I should take my blade out. The last little bit there, as you can see, I never use my, I guess my KitchenAid. I'm all about doing things with your hand, but you know, sometimes you just got to do that. So I'm going to put the rest of this in, and I'll tell you what's next. Okay, so that's the last of that. Now what I need to do, so that was 2 cups of the beef fat and the little pieces of beef on there. What we need to do now, I'm just going to put my blade out of the way, is take about a half a cup of that out. We need it to fry because I want it to have the beef fat as well. So that I'll fry in my frying pan, and I'll show you that because I want to ream out a little bit of the grease. So but that's about a half a cup, and then the rest of it we'll put into our bowl there. That's all you need to do there. I hope you're following along and I haven't got you totally confused, because this is a delicious recipe. If you like sausages, you love white puddings. And again, this is one that I've put together so it's friendly for us working at home, and we know how it's complicated to find all the tools that you need to put together a nice meal. But today I did have to use the KitchenAid, which that's rare for me, but you need to, yeah, it's very rare because everything is done by hand and grinding and whatever. But I needed to have it smaller and more compiled because I need to blend it together, and you'll see what I mean by that as we go. I'm going to be putting this fat that I've reamed out there and grind down in the KitchenAid. I want to get just the oil from this because we want to put this into the bowl. Now what we're going to do is add all of our seasonings in there. So as you can see, we got our onions in there. This is our oats and our beef fat and little bits of beef with it. So now I'm just going to add in all of the seasonings. Now I told you the amount. We will provide the recipe in under this video. Of course, you know, next to that is our subscribe button. If you haven't already subscribed, I urge you to do so, because this is only one of many delicious recipes that we've shared with you on there. So that's all you need to do there. Now all we're going to do is mix this in together to equally blend it all, so it's all getting its equal amount of seasonings and ingredients. So as you can see, all I'm doing is just reaming out this fat, this beef fat, and just getting that oil there, because pretty much that oil is going to be poured back into our white pudding mixture, and then that's going to blend it all together. And I'm as well going to put it back into the KitchenAid just to give it another bit of the texture that I'm looking for. So that's all you need to do there. It smells absolutely amazing in here, and I haven't really done anything. Just cook up this beef fat, and I don't know about you, but that's flavor. That is flavor. I know we do. I mean, it's probably not good for us, but you know, moderation for everything. And as well, this spices or the seasonings coming up from this white pudding mixture there is absolutely amazing. So I'm going to pour this now into our mixture and get that going. Okay, as you can see, this is the mixture here for our white puddings, and this is the fat that's reamed out and given us oil. So we're just going to pour all of that into there, and what we're going to do now is mix that around so it's all blended in through, and then I'm going to put it back into my KitchenAid there now, because I want to get it even more blended together, almost like a pudding texture or a sausage texture. It's just all together. Now that's just absolutely delicious. Now all you're going to do is just take it in portions and put it back in to the blender or into your KitchenAid. Just a small amount at a time, unless you got a big KitchenAid. Good for you, because this is all I got. I'm lucky to even have this one. This one is against all of my cooking rules, but we need to get this done. And as well, these white puddings may not be for you, but you might know somebody that would love to know how to make this. So let's get going on it. And pretty much, as you can see, I just want it mixed like this so you can see it all combined. And then what I meant by these white puddings mightn't be for you, it's not for everybody. This is not the type of meal that everybody would like to eat, but if you're having a kitchen party or a shed party or even some friends over, they would love to have this. So that's all you need to do there. I'm going to continue with the rest. I'm just putting it down like this, and then I'll tell you what's next after that. So after you've blended all of the ingredients now with your KitchenAid or your blender, put it back into the bowl. Make sure you clean up in between and wash your hands and stuff, because you are dealing with raw meat, which is the fat and the meat parts. So what I'm going to do now is reach for our cheesecloth and a pudding bag, and then we'll get assembling those and show you what that looks like. So this is our cheesecloth. So what I need to do first, now we're not cooking with the plastic. This is clear wrap. We're just going to shape out the white pudding. So that will go on your countertop first. And the cotton cheesecloth, we're going to do it in 3 portions, because I need this one for the 3 of those white puddings. So I'm going to cut this much off, and that'll be for the other 2. Now you can use as much as you like. It's just sometimes I run out of things in the wrong time, and this is one of them. So I only got so much cheesecloth to show you, so I'll use up that. So this amount of white pudding mixture is going to be shared in 3 portions. So we're going to have this one, and that one. So we're making 3 puddings. Now you could make more if you want to make them smaller. That's fine as well. But this is what I'm going to do here today, and that way I can show you what that looks like. So you just put down a nice portion on there. So now I'm going to be using my hands, because I want to shape this out like a long, I guess, pudding. And in some cases, to describe it, it would be like a sausage. And we're going to roll it down, put it to the sides, and roll it in like this. Keep going until it's all rolled into that cheesecloth like this. Then you're going to take your clear wrap, and like I was saying, this clear wrap is not for cooking with. This is just for shaping out the white puddings. So you're going to go like this, and then I'm going to cut this across. I know I got my cutter up there, but I don't need to use that right now. And you're going to roll it like this to make the shape of that white pudding. Now just look at this, how cool is that? So this is just to get the shape that you want. I'm going to put this one to the side. I'll show you one more before I show you what you got to do with the pudding bag, because what we're going to do, we're going to put these in the fridge and let them cool a little bit, because right now it's pretty warm from managing it. I'm going to do one more. So your cheesecloth down on top of your clear wrap. You take a nice portion of the white pudding mixture, put into the cheesecloth like this, and then roll it. Now this cheesecloth is like got 3 or 4 layers, and like you said, you can go as thick as you like. The thicker the better, really, but this is what I got to show you right now, and this will work for us. And I do have some done in advance as well. So it's like that. Then you take your saran, roll that over, and then we're going to create that same shape for our white pudding. And that's all we need to do there. So now I'll show you the next step. So pretty much that's all you need to do. Now the reason for the cheesecloth, we'll talk about that. This is replacing the sleeve they use for stuffing the mixture into when you go to make that white pudding. And again, similar to a sausage, it's the same clear tube that they put it into. And that sleeve we don't have, and we're home cooks. We're not going to be trying to figure out how to get that and what to do with it. So this is serving for that purpose, using the cheesecloth, because cheesecloth, you can cook with a cheesecloth, you can bake with a cheesecloth, and you know, it's not going to do anything to your food. The plastic we are going to take off, because you cannot cook with that, and with the grease in there, it will all shrink and go into your food, and then it's garbage. We won't be cooking with that. But right now, so pretty much we would take this now and put this in the fridge for about 10 to 20 minutes, just to let it cool down a little bit, because we were working the mixture. But I'm going to show you what to do now with putting it into the cheesecloth after you've created the roll and you know what it looks like. So let's get going on that. Okay, I got the other white puddings put in the fridge to cool. Now Raymond just reminded me that I call this a cotton cheesecloth. It's not a cheesecloth, it's a pudding bag, a cotton pudding bag. And thank you, Raymond, for pointing that out. I guess I rattle on there with telling information, and I just forget that I said something wrong. So that's all there. That's so that the cotton cheesecloth, of course, you can cook with, and it can cook in high temperatures. So we're going to put this now into our bag, and then we're going to roll it around. So this is going to serve as another casing for our white puddings. So it seems like a lot of fuss, but believe me, if you don't have those sausage tubes that they use for the white puddings and sausage, you need this, because it will all dissolve in your boiler, and all you would have is just a whole bunch of ingredients in the bottom of the pot. So that's no good. So that's all you need to do there. We're going to be cooking it in the boiler, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about that now. So I hope that was easy to that point and you followed along. You can always rewind and look at it again, but today we're making Bonita's white puddings, and like I said, this recipe is home friendly because I've created a batch of white pudding mixture that is good for just making at home, and a small amount. And again, if you want to double it, you can, but 3 of those white puddings is perfectly lots. And after we steam them in the we got one for the boiler with water up to about 1/4 of the ways. We got one for the roaster, because I'm going to put one in the oven, and we're only going to be putting it in there for 25 minutes. on a 350 degree of heat, and this one is on about 5 or 6 on your dial, your stove top, because you just want it boiling. You don't want it galloping, bouncing it all over the place. We're going to be putting this pouch, which is in our cheesecloth first, then after in our cotton bag, or if you don't have the cotton bag, just a cotton cloth wrapped around with the twine. We're going to put this in the pot. I'm going to put the timer on for 25 minutes. And then now I'm going to take out the other 2 that I got in the fridge that I put in there to cool. And we're going to take it out of this clear wrap and put it into the roaster. So I'm going to show you that. So what we're going to do now is to remove the lid. And I'm going to be putting the bag down into the water like this. You see it's submerged all the ways down. When it starts to cook there, it'll lift a little bit. I'm going to put the lid on, just like I said, on a medium heat, and put the timer on 25 minutes. And that's all we need to do with that. Okay, so while this one is boiling, I'm going to show you the preparation for these 2. Now, you can do it all in the boiler. That's fine, but just in case you don't want to do it in the boiler and you want to do it in the roaster to cook them, and that's totally fine. I've done it both and it works good, but like you said, it's up to you. You can do one or the other. I already got the bag, the cotton bag, and the white pudding put inside of it. I'm going to take the plastic off this one here, and then we're going to put it into the roaster. Make sure you take the plastic off all of your white pudding rings, because you don't want to leave that on there. What we're going to do, we're going to take the one in the pudding bag and put right on into the roaster, and the same thing with the cheesecloth. You could put lots of cheesecloth on it, more than what I had there, and then put it into the roaster and put the lid on. And now I'm going to put that one into the oven. Okay, so you're just going to put it in on a preheated oven in the center of in the center rack, and you're putting that one in there as well for 25 minutes. And I got some done here in advance, but meet me back here when these are already, I guess, cooked. I'm going to show you what that looks like, and I'm going to show you the next step before you even cut it or open the package. Welcome back to Bonita's Kitchen, and thank you for joining us. I'm glad that you stuck around, and our white puddings are cooked now. And what I'm going to do is take it out of both pots, and we're going to be putting it into a strainer to rest, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, I'm going to remove my lid. As you can see, they're both sitting there, and you can see the grease down into the bottom. That's where the white puddings were steamed and released all of that oils. So we're going to put them into this strainer over there, and the reasons for that is to let it rest, and this way it will set and harden as it goes. So now I'm going to reach for this one. Okay, so now this one's in the boiler. So it doesn't matter which method you decide to use. If you want to do it the roaster or the boiler, it's just 25 minutes. And then I like them in this cotton bag as well as in the cheesecloth, because it gives it that more, I guess, of a coziness for it. And it'll keep it from falling apart. So now we're just going to leave it there in the strainer. I'm going to make room for it off to the side and let this rest, and it's going to rest for anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour until it goes to room temperature. So now we're getting to the fun part, and that's the part when we go to cook these delicious white puddings. And today they're Bonita's white puddings, because it took me a few days to compile all that information, but trust me, they are absolutely delicious. We're going to be letting these wrapped white puddings over here stay at room temperature for up to an hour, and it could be longer. You could even put them in the fridge after they're cold. Forget about them until you're ready to use them. But right now I got one that was already done yesterday, and after they came to room temperature I put it in the fridge. So I'm going to take it out of this cotton bag, and I got one that we already cut, and I'm going to cut it some more to show you, and we're going to fry it up in the frying pan, and it smells amazing. Now what we're going to do is cut this out of the package, and again it's there to keep it all snug in its pouch and this cotton bag. So let me just take it out of here first, and I'll show you the next step. Okay, so after you've cut the thread off, take it out of the cotton bag, and you could reuse this one by washing it again. Now this is our cheesecloth. We're just going to unwrap our white pudding, and here it is in full form. Now what we're going to do, this is garbage by the way, you don't need to reuse that. What we're going to do now is cut these up in pieces, and then we're going to fry it. I'm just making sure all the cheesecloth is off our white pudding. There you go. After you've removed it from its cheesecloth, and as you can see, this is what it looks like on the inside, and you can see the savoury and all the seasonings. You cut it about this thick, because you want it to fry now. So we're just cutting it in pieces like this. So these white puddings, when you fry them, you can have them with a fried egg, you can have them with a salad, you can have them with mashed potato. It doesn't matter. You can, this is yours and yours to enjoy. So this is what it looks like. So what I'm going to do now is put it over into our hot frying pan. And we're going to fry some off here now and show you what they look like. So what we're going to do now, after it fries for a couple of minutes on one side, you flip it over. You don't need to put no oil in your pan, because you know this is made up of beef fat and some beef, of course. And you just want to fry it now that it's got equal time on each side. Okay, so after they fry, like I was saying, a couple of minutes, 2-3 minutes on each side, you can take them out and then put them on your plate to enjoy. Now you can serve this with egg right now and have it as your breakfast, or with a salad as a lunch. And as well, you can have these with a little bit of pickles. Right now I got some pickles here on the side, and you can put a little bit over the top. And what I'm going to do now is have a taste of this and tell you what it tastes like. Absolutely delicious. So I hope that you're excited about this recipe today, because again, it is easy to make, not a lot of steps, but making it this way, you can do this up and fry it when you need it. And have a little taste. A perfect blend of the spices and the seasoning, salt, pepper, and even that onion in there just stands right out. I love white puddings. My husband loves white puddings. 2 thumbs up by us. We can't wait for you to make it. The pickles I'm using here today is our zucchini pickles, and we also got our green tomato chow chow pickles on there, and they'll be delicious with this. So right now I want to thank all of our subscribers for enjoying our channel and keeping in contact with us with all of our recipes. And of course, the people that have requested the white pudding, I'm sorry it took me so long to get to it, but right now I hope that you try it and send us a message. Let us know what you think. So after your white puddings have sat there for an hour, and if you're not ready to use them, put them in your fridge. They're good in there for up to a week. You could keep it inside of the cheesecloth. You can even keep it inside of the pudding bag. That's entirely up to you. Or put it in a snap container. And if you don't want to do that, you can freeze them and take them out as you need it. And again, just cut it in little pieces and fry them. And also we're going to provide the recipe there for you in under this video, so that you got full access to all of it. You can also visit us on www.bonitaskitchen.com, and we have over 200 plus recipes there for you to check out. Send us a message here on YouTube or visit us on our Facebook page. Raymond is waiting over there to have some of these white puddings, so I'm excited for him to finish it up. And also, thank you for each and every one of you for joining us today here on Bonita's Kitchen for Bonita's White Puddings. Like and share and show it to your family and friends. They would love it. From our kitchen to yours, thank you for joining us, and you have a wonderful day.
Join us by the sea, our journey in culinary, always an open door. Bonita's Kitchen to yours, Bonita's Kitchen.